Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is Your Good Karma is Coming Next. Okay? Now, baby, buckle up because this is one of those readings that is going to hit different. This is a high vibrational reading. This is not a reading about what somebody did to you. This is not a reading about who betrayed you. This is not a reading about who lied on you. Although, Lord knows some of y'all got stories, okay? So no, today we're talking about what's coming back to you because some of y'all have done things for people and got nothing back. Let's talk about it. You showed up, you supported, you encouraged, you prayed, you helped, you listened, you gave, you sacrificed. And some of those same people, they couldn't even give you basic respect. Okay? Some of y'all poured into people who acted like your kindness was an entitlement. Some of y'all helped people get back on their feet and then they turned around and acted funny. Some of y'all were the blessing and got treated like the burden. Now we're talking, okay? Because life has a funny way of balancing things out. What goes around comes around. And that's why we're here today. Because Spirit didn't bring you here to talk about what you lost. Spirit brought you here to show you what you're about to receive. Now, before we get started, real quick though, the 3 questions for $33 personal psychic reading is still available. And you can ask any 3 questions about love, relationships, family, career, finances, spiritual guidance, your future. And honey, listen, there are things that come through in a personal reading that simply cannot be discussed publicly here on YouTube. And if you know, you know. The link is in the description. All right, Clarity family, let's get straight into it. All right, you have pile 1, which is the carnelian crystal and the moon. Pile 2, turquoise crystal plus the star. Pile 3 is clear quartz crystal plus the high priestess. Take a moment, take a breath, don't overthink it. The pile that calmly pulls your attention the most, that's your pile. Because trust me, your good karma already knows your address. And baby, something tells me the Spirit is about to show y'all exactly why. Let's get into it. Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading, pile 1. This is your good karma and what's coming next. Now, baby, the second that I saw this pile, I said, oh Lord, somebody been through some stuff. Somebody got stories. Because this isn't giving life has been easy. No, this is giving life tested me, people tested me, situations tested me, and somehow I'm still standing. Because some of y'all have done things for people and got absolutely nothing back. Okay, so let's talk about it because you supported them, you encouraged them, you prayed for them, you helped them, you showed up for them, you poured into them, and some of them couldn't even give you basic respect. Okay? Lord have mercy, because some of y'all were literally the blessing in somebody's life and they treated you like the burden, okay? Now that's the type of energy I'm picking up because this pile feels like people underestimated your heart. They underestimated your intentions. They underestimated your resilience. But here's the beautiful part. Spirit saw all of it, okay? Every sacrifice, every tear, every time you chose peace over revenge, every time you chose growth over bitterness, and every time you chose to keep moving forward, okay? And honey, listen, what I'm already picking up is some receipts are about to be paid. But real quick though, the 3 questions for $33 personal psychic reading is still available. So yes, you can ask any 3 questions about love, relationships, family, career, finances, spiritual guidance, your future. And let me tell y'all something. There are things that come through in a personal reading that I simply cannot discuss publicly on YouTube. So if you know, you know. That link is in the description. All right, Pile 1, your energy led you here to the carnelian crystal paired with the moon. Now, let me just say this. The moon is one of those cards that sees everything happening behind the scenes, okay? Things hidden, things secret, things whispered, things done in the dark. And honey, some of y'all had people talking about you behind your back. Let's just start there. Somebody was speaking on your name, making assumptions, creating stories, judging situations they knew absolutely nothing about. And what did you do? Did you spend your life plotting revenge? No. Did you go scorched earth? No. Did you spend every waking second trying to get even? No. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of y'all thought about it. Okay? Some of y'all thought about it, so let's keep it honest. But you didn't do it. Because what Spirit keeps showing me is restraint, patience, self-control, growth. And baby, that matters, because every time life gave you a reason to become bitter, you chose something different. Okay? Now, let's talk about this carnelian crystal. Carnelian is confidence, power, action, movement, vitality. It's forward momentum, which tells me that your good karma isn't just emotional, it's physical too. Meaning money, opportunities, growth, recognition, a new beginning, okay? Because what I'm already seeing in the total energetic frequency is movement, not stagnation, movement. And honestly, some of the same people who counted you out may end up watching you win. Okay? Now that is karma. All right? So, you still have 6 more cards to go in this pile. And each card is going to tell us why you've earned this good karma. And also what Spirit saw that nobody else saw. What blessing is headed your way. What cycle is ending and what reward is forming behind the scenes. Total energetic frequency, we're going to get that too, because the total energetic frequency I'm already picking up is big, because this doesn't feel like Spirit handing you crumbs. And this feels like Spirit saying that you've waited long enough. Now, let's get into card 1 and let's see what's coming through. What is the energy as it does relate? Let's see what's coming through. And you have connect with crystals. That's interesting, right? So I am getting such a vibe, energy with this. Now hold on, because some of y'all immediately heard crystals and thought, well, I don't even own any crystals. Baby, that's not the point. Stay with me, okay? Because what Spirit is actually talking about is energy. And that's exactly why you're receiving this good karma. Because whether people acknowledged it or not, whether they thanked you or not, whether they appreciated it or not, you have poured positive energy into people, okay? Let's be real, because some of y'all were healing people while you were still hurting yourself, okay? You were still hurting inside, but you chose to heal other people. Some of y'all were encouraging people while secretly going through your own storm. Some of y'all were praying for people while trying to figure out your own situation. Some of y'all were helping people find their light while sitting in your own darkness. Now, that's the energy I'm picking up, because crystals amplify energy. And what Spirit keeps showing me is you kept putting good energy out, even when you weren't getting it back, okay? Now, let's stir the tea, because some of y'all got played. Let's call it what it is. Some people took your kindness and treated it like weakness. Some people took your generosity and treated it like an obligation. Some people kept taking and taking and taking and never once asked, are you okay? I'm gonna keep it a buck, okay? No sugarcoat. The cards are already exposing people. But here's the thing, because Spirit saw every single time you chose to remain a good person. Not a perfect person, a good person. Big difference, okay? Because some of y'all had every reason to become bitter, every reason to become cold, every reason to stop helping people. And yet, you kept your heart open. Not completely, because we ain't stupid. But you didn't let life turn you into somebody you're not. Now, here's what I think your karma is connected to. Opportunity, resources, unexpected blessings, people finally showing up for you. Because Spirit keeps saying, now is your turn. There it is. Because for too long, you have been the one pouring, the one giving, the one supporting, the one carrying. And what I'm already seeing in the total energetic frequency, some of y'all are about to receive help from places you never expected. Okay? Because karma doesn't always come through the same door it left through. The person who hurt you may never apologize. The person who used you may never say thank you. And the person who betrayed you may never admit what they did. But Spirit has a funny way of sending blessings through completely different people. Now, that's what I'm seeing, because this card feels like energy returning to its source. And so far we have the moon equals hidden sacrifices, unseen struggles, and things Spirit witnessed behind the scenes. Carnelian crystal equals confidence, action, power, and forward movement. Connect with crystals. It equals positive energy returning, spiritual support, amplified blessings, and good karma finally circling back. And baby, the total energetic frequency is already getting powerful, because this feels like somebody who kept giving light. And now the universe is getting ready to shine some back on them. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into card 2. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. All right. This is not... I was thinking about something, you guys. Give me a second. What is the energy as it does relate? Thank you, Spirit. You got patience. And Lord knows you had to have a lot of this, right? See, you had patience. So the card says patience, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm picking up. Thank you, Spirit. It's deeper than just this word. It's a simple word, but it's deeper than that, okay? This card is your entire life story, okay? Because Spirit said patience. Now, can we be honest for a minute? Because some of y'all did not want patience. You wanted results. You wanted answers. You wanted justice. You wanted things to hurry up. But life kept saying, not yet. How many times have y'all heard that? Not yet, not yet, not yet. How many times? And meanwhile, you're sitting over there like, okay, Spirit, but when? Here's what I'm picking up is one of the biggest reason your karma is coming is because you didn't quit. You waited, you endured, you trusted, you kept moving, you kept showing up, you kept trying. And honey, that was not always easy, okay? Because some of y'all watched other people get things before you. Let's keep it real. Some of y'all watched people who treated others horribly get blessed before you. Some of y'all watch people lie, manipulate, cheat, use people, and somehow it looked like everything was working out for them. All right? Meanwhile, you're over here doing your best, trying to do things right, trying to stay on the right path, and trying to keep your heart right, and wondering, what about me? That's the energy. Because this patience, it wasn't passive. This wasn't you sitting on a couch eating potato chips, waiting for a miracle. No, this was active patience because you were still showing up, still working, still trying, still growing, still healing. Okay? Now let's open the curtains. Because some of y'all don't even realize how many times Spirit protected you through a delay. There it is. Because what you thought was punishment was protection, right? And what you thought was rejection was redirection. What you thought was a setback was Spirit moving pieces behind the scenes. Because the moon card already told us things were happening behind the scenes. Things you couldn't see, things you didn't know, things Spirit was arranging while you were busy wondering why nothing was happening. And baby, I think that's exactly why your karma is coming in big, okay? Because you passed one of the hardest tests there is, the test of patience. Most people quit. Most people become bitter. Most people become angry. Most people give up. But you're still here. And Spirit sees that. Every single bit of it. Now, what I'm already seeing in the total energetic frequency is something you've been waiting on. And it's getting closer, okay? Much closer than you think. And when it shows up, you're gonna realize why it couldn't arrive any earlier. Baby, the cards are talking today. So far we have the moon equals hidden sacrifices and unseen struggles. Carnelian crystal equals power, confidence, and forward movement. Connect with crystals equals positive energy returning to you and blessings circling back. And patience equals endurance, perseverance, trust, and passive one of and passing one of Spirit's hardest tests. And baby, that total energetic frequency is already feeling like, it's already just feeling like your waiting season is almost over. Okay, let's get into card 3. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. Card 3. You got prosperity. The card says, a prosperous business with riches and success. That part. Okay? Look, now baby, when I tell you this card right here just changed the entire reading. Because Spirit said prosperity. And the card literally says, a prosperous business, riches, success. Woo! Now hold on, because some of y'all just sat up in your chair. You just sat up in your chair, okay? Lord, because let's be honest, a lot of people love talking about spiritual blessings, but when Spirit starts talking about money, success, prosperity, opportunities, abundance, everybody suddenly starts paying attention. Right? So let's talk about it, because what I love about this card is it doesn't feel like luck. This feels earned. Big difference, because everything we've seen so far has been talking about patience, good energy, hidden sacrifices. Okay? And now Spirit says, okay, now let's talk about the reward. Because some of y'all have spent years planting seeds. Yep, you have. You worked, you sacrificed, you learned, you failed, you got back up, you tried again. And the crazy part, some people only see where you're headed. They don't see what it took to get there. Okay? They don't see the tears. They don't see the disappointments. They don't see the setbacks. They don't see the nights that you wanted to quit. But Spirit does. And that's why this prosperity feels connected directly to your karma. Not luck, karma. Right? Now, because some of y'all got people watching you right now. I'm going to keep it real. Some of you got people watching you right now. The same people who doubted you, the same people who underestimated you, the same people who thought you would never get there. And Spirit is over here like, just wait. Because I keep hearing delayed does not mean denied. Matter of fact, some of y'all are about to receive something you've been waiting on for a long time. Not a short time, a long time. Because this prosperity card doesn't feel small. It feels substantial. Okay? It feels substantial. So for some of y'all, it's more money, business growth, new opportunities, recognition, success people can actually see. And honestly, I think that's why Spirit gave us patience first. Because if prosperity had come before patience, half of y'all would have skipped right over the lesson. Right? But the lesson was necessary. The growth was necessary. The waiting was necessary. Right? Because now when the blessing arrives, you'll actually be ready for it. Now, here's what I'm already picking up in the total energetic frequency. This isn't just financial prosperity, it's energetic prosperity, meaning better people, better opportunities, better situations, better experiences, better alignment. Because Spirit keeps showing me somebody leaving survival mode. Okay? Leaving survival mode behind. Okay? Now, honey, that's a blessing. So far we have the moon equals hidden sacrifices and unseen struggles. Carnelian crystal equals power, confidence, and forward movement. Connect with crystals equals positive energy returning and blessings circling back. Patience equals endurance, trust, and passing one of Spirit's hardest tests. Prosperity equals success, abundance, opportunities, recognition, and rewards finally arriving. And baby, like I said, the total energetic frequency is getting loud AF, because this no longer feels like maybe. This feels like your season is changing. Let's get into card 4. All right, what is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. Card 4. And you got transparency. The card says the energy of transparency supports our expansion toward a higher vibrational state of being with more insight, honesty, and clarity. I consider this a synchronicity, especially with you being drawn to the moon card as your card of choice. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, you know, there are no coincidences, right? You're always where you need to be. Now, when I tell you that this card just confirmed everything we've been talking about, is it's an understatement when I say that, okay? I want to read the card again. So it says, transparency. The energy of transparency supports our expansion towards a higher vibrational state of being with more insight, honesty, and clarity. Now, hold on, because Spirit is screaming synchronicity right now. And do y'all realize the very first card you chose was the moon? And now we're getting transparency. The cards are talking to each other because the moon is hidden. The moon is secrets. The moon is confusion. The moon is things happening in the dark. Transparency is the exact opposite. Transparency says, turn the lights on. Let's see what's really happening. Let's stop pretending. Now we're talking, okay? Because one of the biggest reasons your good karma is coming is because you chose truth. Even when lies would have been easier. All right, let's keep it 100. Because some of y'all could have manipulated. Some of y'all could have played games. Some of y'all could have twisted the narrative. And some of y'all could have told half truths. But what Spirit keeps showing me is somebody who eventually said, you know what? I'm just going to be real. Because being honest costs something. Sometimes honesty costs relationships. And sometimes honesty costs opportunities. Sometimes honesty costs people's approval. But baby, some of y'all paid the price. All right, some of y'all paid the price. Now, because I also think some of y'all finally started seeing people for who they really are. Not who you hoped they were. Not who they pretended to be. Not who they promised to be. Who they actually were. And that wasn't easy. Because sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth disappoints. And sometimes the truth breaks your heart. But here's the thing. The truth also sets you free. And I think that's exactly why this prosperity card came before this one. Because your blessings couldn't fully arrive until your vision got clear. Lord, right? Now, that's a word, okay? Because Spirit keeps showing me fog lifting, confusion ending, answers arriving, people revealing themselves, situations becoming crystal clear. And honestly, some of y'all are about to have one of those moments where you look back and you say, now I understand why all that happened. Because transparency brings understanding, and understanding brings peace. Now, here's what I'm already seeing in the total energetic frequency. This blessing isn't just about money. It's about clarity. Because what good is a blessing if you're still surrounded by confusion? Okay? Spirit is cleaning up your vision first. Cleaning up your circle first. Cleaning up your perspective first. And then comes the next level. So far, we have the moon, which equals hidden situations, unseen sacrifices, and things occurring behind the scenes. Carnelian crystal equals confidence, power, and forward movement. Connect with crystals equals positive energy, returning, and good karma circling back. Patience equals endurance and passing one of Spirit's hardest tests. Okay? Prosperity, that equals success, abundance, and rewards arriving. Transparency equals truth, clarity, insight, revelation, and finally seeing things exactly as they are. And baby, the total energetic frequency is getting stronger and stronger because this power feels like what was hidden is about to be revealed, and what you've earned is finally on its way. Let's get into card 5. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. And this is card 5. All right. All right. Card 5. You got change. The card says change. Just simple change. CHANGE. But I'm going to tell you what's underneath the change. What's aligned with the change. What's parallel with the change. Now, when I tell you that Spirit kept this card simple on purpose, because this card, like I said, it's change. That's it. No paragraph, no explanation, no extra words, just change. And honestly, that's all it needed to say. Because if I had to summarize this entire reading so far, it would be, your life is changing. Not kind of changing, not maybe changing, not someday changing. Changing. Now, let's talk about it, because some of y'all have been stuck in the same cycle for way too long. The same waiting, the same struggle, the same frustration, the same questions, the same delays. And Spirit is over here like, enough. Okay? Because what have we gotten so far? We've gotten hidden blessings, patience, prosperity, and transparency. Do y'all see where this is going? Because none of those cards stay in the same place. Every one of those cards is movement. Every one of those cards is growth. Every one of those cards is transition. All right, so let's stir the tea again, because change is uncomfortable. Let's keep it real. Everybody says they want change until change shows up. Everybody says, I want a new life. Then Spirit starts removing old people. And everybody says, I want abundance. And then Spirit starts changing old habits. Okay? Everybody says, I want something better. And then Spirit starts closing old doors. Let's keep it a buck, because I think that some of y'all are already in the middle of this change. Right? You're already in the middle of the change. And some friendships don't feel the same. Some situations don't feel the same. Some goals don't even feel the same. And you've been wondering what's going on. What's going on? Well, this card is what's going on. Change. Now, here's what I love. This doesn't feel like forced change. This feels like deserved change. Big difference. Okay, that's a big difference, because Spirit keeps showing me somebody graduating. Graduating, not punishment. Promotion, not loss. Elevation, not ending. Expansion. Now that's what I'm seeing, because what good karma does is create new seasons. And honey, I think that you're walking into one. Matter of fact, some of y'all have already outgrown the life you're living. Okay? Because your spirit is already in the next chapter. Your physical reality is just catching up. And that's why the total energetic frequency keeps getting louder. Because this isn't one blessing. No, this isn't one blessing. This is a shift. A complete shift. And so far we have the moon equals hidden sacrifices and unseen struggles. Carnelian crystal equals power, confidence, and movement. Connect with crystals equals positive energy returning. Patience equals endurance and trust. Prosperity equals success and abundance. Transparency equals truth and clarity. Change equals new chapter, new opportunities, new seasons, and a complete energetic shift. And baby, the total energetic frequency is screaming. The chapter that you've been waiting for is finally beginning. Let's get into card 6. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. You got the Archangel Haniel. Her name is spelled Haniel. She's the Archangel of friendship, moon cycles, and psychic ability. Now, literally, the word moon is on this card, y'all. Spirit is showing up and showing out. That's all I got to say, baby. But when I tell you that Spirit saved the mic drop for the very end, all right, because you got Archangel Haniel. And like I said, Haniel is the Archangel of friendship, moon cycles, psychic ability. Now, hold on, because did y'all catch that? Did you catch it? I know I said it, but the moon is literally on this card. Now, that's not coincidence. That's synchronicity. Because what was the very first card you were drawn to? The moon. And now we're ending the reading with an archangel connected to moon energy. Baby, Spirit is putting exclamation points all over this reading. Because what Spirit keeps saying is, I saw everything. Everything. the sacrifices, the tears, the disappointments, the delays, the times you wanted to quit, the times you felt forgotten. Because the moon was showing us all the things happening behind the scenes. And Haniel is confirming nothing was hidden from spirit. Not one thing. Now, let's keep it real, because I think some of y'all honestly believe certain situations would never change. Some of y'all thought, maybe this is just my life. Maybe this is as good as it gets, and maybe things aren't gonna happen for me. And Spirit is over here saying, absolutely not. Because Haniel also rules intuition, psychic ability, inner knowing. And I think some of y'all have been feeling change before you've been seeing it. Okay? There it is, because your intuition already knows something is shifting. Your intuition already knows something is coming. Your intuition already knows you're not staying where you are. Now let's talk about these moon cycles. Because moon cycles are about phases, seasons, transitions, endings, beginnings. And baby, this reading has been one giant transition. Look at what Spirit gave us. Connect with crystals, patience, prosperity, transparency, change, Archangel Haniel. Every single card talks about growth. Every single card talks about evolution. Every single card talks about movement. Now, that's what your good karma looks like. Not just money, not just success, not just opportunities. It looks like becoming the person that you were always meant to become. That's the big blessing, because some of y'all have already survived the hardest part. The waiting, the uncertainty, the confusion, the delays, the disappointments. And now Spirit is moving you into a completely different season. Total energetic frequency, pile 1. All right, Clarity family, let's put this whole thing together. The moon equals hidden sacrifices, unseen struggles, and spirit witnessing everything. Carnelian crystal equals power, confidence, courage, and forward movement. Connect with crystals equals positive energy returning and karmic rewards circling back. Patience equals passing one of Spirit's hardest tests. Prosperity equals success, abundance, opportunities, and blessings arriving. And transparency equals truth, clarity, and finally understanding what was hidden. Change equals new seasons, new chapters, and major life shifts. Archangel Haniel equals divine timing, intuition, moon cycles, spiritual support, and confirmation that Spirit has been guiding this process all along. Now, if I had to summarize your entire good karma in one sentence, it would be what you thought was a delay was actually preparation, because Spirit wasn't ignoring you. Spirit was building something. And now I think you're getting ready to see the results. All right, Clarity family, this does close the reading. And baby, this pile wasn't about luck. This pile wasn't about earned blessings, because every act of kindness, every ounce of patience, every time you chose growth over bitterness, And every time you chose peace over revenge, Spirit kept the receipt. And now some of those receipts are getting ready to be paid. Before you go, the 3 questions for $33 personal psychic reading is still available. And you can ask any 3 questions about love, relationships, family, career, finances, spiritual guidance, your future. And the link is in the description. Until next time, Clarity family, trust your intuition, trust divine timing, and remember, what was happening in the dark was never hidden from Spirit. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading, Pile 2. This is Your Good Karma is Coming Next. Now, baby, the second I saw this pile, I laughed. And not because it's funny, but because Spirit is funny, okay? Because some of y'all have been walking around asking, when is it my turn? When is something good gonna happen to me? How come everybody else getting blessed? What about me? Child, listen, let's talk about it, because some of y'all have watched people do less than you and get more than you. Now, come on, let's be honest. Some of y'all have sat there and watched people who were lazy, messy, chaotic, selfish, and somehow everything seemed to fall right into their lap. Meanwhile, you over here trying to do the right thing, trying to keep your vibration high, trying to stay positive, trying not to cuss everybody out. Okay? Lord, and Spirit keeps saying, not yet, not yet, not yet. Now, here's why this pile is different. Because unlike pile 1, pile 2 doesn't feel like survival. Pile 2 feels like hope survived. That's what the star is. The star is what happens after the storm. The star is what happens after the heartbreak. The star is what happens after life knocks you on your behind and somehow you still believe something good can happen. Now that's strength, okay? Because some of y'all should have given up. Some of y'all had every reason to become negative, every reason to become cynical, every reason to stop believing. But somehow you didn't. Okay? Somehow you didn't. So let's stir the tea, because I think some of y'all don't even realize how many people would have quit if they had your story. They would have tapped out, thrown in the towel, packed it up, gone home. But you're still here, and Spirit sees that, okay? Now, let's talk about this turquoise crystal, because turquoise is communication, truth, authenticity, self-expression, all right? Which tells me, one of the reasons that your good karma is coming is because you finally stopped pretending. Some of y'all spent years making everybody comfortable except yourself, years shrinking yourself, years staying quiet, years biting your tongue, years saying it's okay when it wasn't okay. All right, so now we're talking because Spirit keeps showing me somebody finally finding their voice. Somebody finally saying, enough. I deserve better. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm choosing me. Okay? Lord have mercy. That's where the karma shifted. Not when you got perfect, when you got honest. But real quick though, the 3 question for $33 personal psychic reading is still available. You can ask me any 3 questions about love, relationships, family, career, finances, spiritual guidance, your future. And baby, some of the things that come through in a personal reading are way too specific for YouTube. And if you know, you know. That link is in the description. All right, pile 2, turquoise crystal and the star. Baby, this is already giving the comeback is going to be prettier than the setback. Woo, I felt that. And what I'm already picking up in the total energetic frequency, recognition, healing, opportunities, wish fulfillment, people finally seeing your value, and some blessings that are going to have you sitting there saying, wait, this is really happening. This pile already feels expensive. Okay? This pile already feels expensive. Now, you still have 6 more cards to go in this pile. Each card is going to tell us why you've earned this good karma, what spirit wants you to know, what's about to shift, what blessing is coming, what chapter is ending, the total energetic frequency, right? And baby, something tells me that this pile is about to get real good. Okay, let's get into card 1. What is the energy as it does relate? What's coming through? I'm gonna go with the card that flew out of the deck, and it says Sweet Treat. And actually, I love this card. It's really cute. It has candy, fruit, as well as cupcakes. She's holding baked cupcakes on the tray. Wow. Okay, and y'all, look, one thing y'all need to know about me, I love sweets. I have to keep it, I have to control myself, but I absolutely love sweets, okay? But look, this card is so cute. The second this card flew out the deck, I said, okay, Spirit, I see what we're doing, because this card is literally Sweet Treat. Y'all, we got candy, we got fruit, we got cupcakes, we got dessert, we got sweetness, we got enjoyment, we got rewards. And baby, this card is not random, not at all, because what is good karma? What is good karma? A reward. What is a sweet treat? A reward. Okay? So Spirit is already talking, because I think some of y'all have spent so much time surviving. You forgot what enjoying life feels like. Okay? Let's talk, because some of y'all have been in survival mode, fix-it mode, responsibility mode, take care of everybody else mode. And Spirit is over here saying, baby, when was the last time you enjoyed something? Now we talking, because this card feels like joy returning, not struggle, joy. Some of y'all have been carrying life on your shoulders for so long. You forgot, you forgot that you're allowed to enjoy yourself. The cards are getting personal already. So now, listen, let's stir the tea, because I don't think this blessing is just money. I think it's happiness. There, I said it. Because what good is money if you're miserable? What good is success if you're exhausted? What good is abundance if you can't enjoy it? The card says enjoy it. And honestly, some of y'all have earned that. You earned that because you've been the responsible one, the reliable one, the helper, the giver, the fixer, the problem solver. Meanwhile, who's taking care of you? Who is taking care of you? Okay? That's exactly what Spirit is talking about, because this card, it feels like life finally handing you something sweet after serving you vegetables for the last 5 years. Okay? I'm sorry. I had to say it. I had to say it because some of y'all been eating spiritual broccoli, spiritual kale, spiritual Brussels sprouts. Lesson after lesson after lesson. Okay? And Spirit said, okay, now here's the dessert. Now that's what I'm seeing. Unexpected joys, unexpected blessings, unexpected pleasures, unexpected moments where you sit back and smile and say, you know what? Life ain't so bad. And baby, what I love most, this card flew out. Nobody forced it. Nobody pulled it. It flew out. Which tells me that this energy wants to come in. It wants to come in fast, not slowly, fast. Now, what I'm already seeing in the total energetic frequency, the star, hope, healing, wish fulfillment, and now sweet treat, rewards, pleasure, enjoyment, joy. Honey, this pile is already giving that life is about to get a whole lot sweeter. And so far we have the star equals hope, healing, and wish fulfillment. Turquoise crystal equals truth, authenticity, and self-expression. Sweet treat equals rewards, happiness, enjoyment, pleasure, and spirit finally giving you something sweet after a long season of lessons. And baby, the total energetic frequency is already delicious. Let's get into card 2. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. All right. Card 2. Card 2. And you got, the card says, little luxuries generates luxurious surroundings and experiences. Whoa. Okay. Now listen, this card already getting spoiled. Okay, Spirit's spoiling y'all. Look, little luxuries. Let me repeat what the card says. It says, generates luxurious surroundings and experiences. Now hold on, because some of y'all just heard luxury and immediately thought millionaire. Right? Baby, calm down, stay with me, because what Spirit is actually talking about is upgraded energy. There it is, because this pile keeps screaming better experiences, better opportunities, better environments, better treatment, better energy. And honestly, it's about time. Because some of y'all have been settling for the bare minimum for way too long. Some of y'all have normalized struggle, normalized stress, normalized being disappointed, and normalized being the one that always sacrifices. And Spirit is over here saying, baby, we're raising the standards. Okay? Now, let's turn on the lights. Because what keeps coming through is some of y'all are so used to giving that receiving feels uncomfortable. Because some of y'all will buy everybody else gifts and then feel guilty buying something nice for yourself. You'll help everybody else, support everybody else, encourage everybody else. But when it's your turn, suddenly you're questioning whether you deserve it. The answer is yes, you do. Because this card feels like Spirit introducing you to a different reality. A reality where things are easier. A reality where you're appreciated. A reality where you don't have to fight for every single thing. Now let's talk some real talk. I think some of y'all are about to start attracting people who actually have something to offer. Okay? Not projects, not problems, not emotional rehabilitation centers. People who actually pour back. Because this luxury card doesn't just feel material. It feels relational. It feels emotional. It feels energetic. It's giving better conversations, better friendships, better opportunities, better experiences, better treatment. And baby, that's good karma too. Now, here's what's cracking me up. Because we started with sweet treats, and now we got little luxuries. Lord, Spirit is basically saying that you've suffered enough. Can we enjoy life now? Because this pile, it doesn't feel like survival anymore. It feels like enjoyment. It feels like comfort. It feels like abundance. And what I'm already seeing in the total energetic frequency is that your blessing is not coming in looking stressful. It's coming in looking attractive. There it is, because some blessings arrive looking like work. This one feels like relief, ease, joy, comfort, enjoyment. And honestly, I think you've earned every bit of it, okay? But so far we have the star, which equals hope, healing, and wish fulfillment. Turquoise crystal equals truth, authenticity, and self-expression. Sweet treat, it equals joy, rewards, pleasure, and life sweetness returning. Little luxuries equals upgrades, better experiences, better treatment, comfort, abundance, and finally allowing yourself to receive. And baby, the total energetic frequency is getting expensive. Let's get into card 3. What is the energy as it does relate? Let's see what's coming through. Ooh, thank you, Spirit. You got romantic love. Look, the card literally says romantic love, but it says the frequency of romantic love supports our experiences to know ourselves through the reflection of a conscious lover. Okay, look at you. Look at you, pile 2. I knew it, I knew it. I knew it, because look at how this pile started. Sweet treats, little luxuries, and now romantic love. Lord have mercy. Spirit says stop playing, because the card literally says, it says the frequency of romantic love supports our experiences to know ourselves through the reflection of a conscious lover. Now let me tell y'all what I'm picking up. This doesn't feel like a random situationship. No shade. This feels like no shade, no tea, no judgment, right? But that's not what I'm picking up. This feels like being valued, being appreciated, being chosen, being seen. And baby, some of y'all don't realize how much your good karma is connected to receiving. Because for years, you've been the giver, the supporter, the helper, the fixer, the one checking on everybody else. And now Spirit is saying, what if somebody checked on you? Okay? Because some of y'all have gotten so used to carrying relationships. You got so used to carrying relationships that you've forgotten relationships are supposed to carry you too. All right, let's stir the tea. Let's stir it, because I think some of y'all have attracted emotionally unavailable people before. Yes, let's just call it what it is. People who wanted your energy, wanted your support, wanted your time, wanted your understanding. But when it came to reciprocate, crickets. And Spirit is over here saying, We're not doing that anymore. Now that's what I like, because this card feels like equal energy, mutual effort, healthy affection, genuine connection. And honestly, for some of y'all, that is the luxury. Not the purse, not the shoes, not the vacation, the peace. The peace of not having to guess, the peace of not having to chase, the peace of not having to beg for basic communication. Lord, these cards are preaching now. They preaching now. Because what is romantic love really? What is it really? It's not just butterflies. It's not just chemistry. It's not just attraction. It's feeling safe. It's feeling respected. It's feeling appreciated. It's feeling like somebody is meeting you halfway. And so now we're talking, because the card specifically mentions reflection. And what I keep hearing is you're about to attract what you've become. Somebody needed that. Somebody needed that, because you've done the healing. You have done the growing. You've done the crying. You've done the learning. And Spirit is saying, good. Now let's stop handing your heart to people who don't know what to do with it. Now, listen, here's what's cracking me up, because this pile is becoming increasingly spoiled. First, sweet treat. Then little luxuries. Now romantic love. And so Spirit is basically saying that your karma isn't crumbs. Your karma isn't leftovers. Your karma isn't settling. Your karma looks like better. Better, okay? And baby, the total energetic frequency is getting ridiculously beautiful, because now I see hope, joy, upgrades, and love. Woo! Listen, this pile is screaming. The universe is finally sending some of that good energy back. And so far we have the star equals healing, hope, and wish fulfillment. Turquoise crystal equals truth, authenticity, and self-expression. Sweet treat equals joy, rewards, and life sweetness returning. Little luxuries equals upgrades, comfort, better experiences, and receiving more. And romantic love equals mutual effort, appreciation, emotional fulfillment, and attracting relationships that actually pour back into you. And honey, the total energetic frequency is starting to look like a whole blessing package. Let's get into card 4. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. All right, card 4. Let's see. Thank you, Spirit. You got environment. Ooh. Wow. Okay. Now listen, this card right here, this card is deeper than people realize, because you got environment, right? Now most people hear environment and think, oh, okay, my house, my apartment, my neighborhood. Baby, we're talking about way more than that. We're talking about the people around you, the energy around you, the conversations around you, the opportunities around you, the atmosphere around you. Now let's talk some real talk, okay? Because some of y'all have been trying to bloom in environments that were never designed for your growth. There it is. Some of y'all have been around negative people, draining people, jealous people, critical people, and people who always had something negative to say. And the crazy part is that some of these people smiled in your face. Lord, okay, now we talking, because Spirit keeps showing me somebody who was the light in a dark room. And baby, being the light is beautiful. But it gets exhausting when everybody around you keeps trying to pull energy from you. There it is. Because some of y'all have been carrying environments that were carrying nobody else. Always motivating, always encouraging, always uplifting, always supporting. Meanwhile, who's pouring back into you? Who is pouring back into you? This pile keeps bringing us back to that. Now let's open the curtains, because I think that part of your good karma is not just receiving blessings, it's receiving a better environment. There it is, because what good is prosperity if you're surrounded by chaos? What good is romantic love if you're surrounded by people constantly bringing your vibration down? Spirit is showing me upgrades, not just in money, not just in love, but in your surroundings. For some of y'all, this is better friendships, better communities, better opportunities, better work environments, better social circles. And truthfully, I think some people are naturally falling away. Okay? Some of y'all been trying to keep people in your life that Spirit already packed up. There, I said it. Because this card feels like make room, clear space. We're bringing something better. Now, here's what I love. Look at the reading. Sweet treat, little luxuries, romantic love, environment. Do y'all see what's happening? Spirit isn't blessing one area. Spirit is blessing multiple areas. Lord, this is giving whole life upgrade energy. Not just here's a blessing, it's here's a better life. Now, that's what I like, because the total energetic frequency keeps getting bigger and bigger. I'm seeing healing, joy, abundance, love, better surroundings. And baby, this pile feels like somebody finally stepping into an environment that matches their value. And so far we have the star, which equals healing, hope, and wish fulfillment. Turquoise crystal equals truth, authenticity, and self-expression. Sweet treat equals joy, rewards, and life sweetness returning. Little luxuries equals upgrades, abundance, and receiving more. Romantic love equals healthy love, appreciation, and emotional fulfillment. And environment equals better people, better opportunities, better circles, and complete energetic upgrade. Okay? And honey, the total energetic frequency is starting to look like your entire reality is upgrading. Let's get into card 5. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. You got Jade. The card says, be the bigger person. This card right here, this card just explained why you're receiving good karma. Because you got Jade. And the card says, be the bigger person. Now, can we talk about it? Because some of y'all are tired of being the bigger person. Let's keep it real. Some of y'all heard that and immediately said, I'm sick of being the bigger person. I've been the bigger person. When is somebody else going to be the bigger person? I'm going to keep it 100. And honestly, I don't blame you. Because what Spirit keeps showing me is that some of y'all have swallowed words you wanted to say. Some of y'all walked away from arguments you could have won. And some of y'all let people think they got away with something. And some of y'all sat there looking at somebody completely wrong and chose peace anyway. Now, that takes strength because anybody can react. Anybody can explode. Anybody can clap back. Anybody can go nuclear. But it takes a different kind of power to say, you know what? I'm not participating in this. Now let's stir the tea. Because some of y'all have mistaken your kindness for weakness. There, I said it. You thought maybe I should have said something. Maybe I should have gotten even. Maybe I should have handled that differently. And Spirit is over here saying, no, you handled it exactly right. Because what you didn't realize was that every time you chose peace, you were passing a test. Lord, somebody needed that. Because this card isn't saying that you let people walk over you. No. This card is saying that you didn't become them. There it is, because some people hurt you. Some people disappointed you. Some people betrayed you. And some people absolutely deserved a piece of your mind. And yet you refused to become bitter. You refused to become hateful. And you refused to become somebody your spirit would no longer recognize. And now that is where the karma comes in. Because look at this pile. Sweet treat, little luxuries, romantic love, better environment, and Jade. Do y'all see what Spirit is saying? Spirit is saying, I saw what they did. I saw what you wanted to do. I saw what you chose not to do. Lord have mercy, because some of y'all deserve an award for self-control alone. Let's just be honest. Matter of fact, some of y'all would have ended up on the evening news if it wasn't for your spiritual growth. Okay? Lord, I wasn't going to say it, but I felt it. Now, here's what I'm seeing in the total energetic frequency. It's that this blessing is coming in because your heart stayed intact. Not perfect, not untouched, not unaffected, but intact. And Spirit is rewarding that because being the bigger person is expensive. It costs pride. It costs ego. It costs temporary satisfaction. But baby, the return on investment is looking real nice right now. And so far we have the star equals hope, healing, and wish fulfillment. Turquoise crystal equals authenticity and truth. Sweet treat equals joy and rewards. Little luxuries equals upgrades and abundance. Romantic love equals healthy love and emotional fulfillment. Environment equals better people and better opportunities. Jade equals choosing peace, taking the higher road, and refusing to become what hurt you. And baby, the total energetic frequency is screaming. You didn't lose by being the bigger person. You qualified for a bigger blessing. Let's get into card 6. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. All right. Card 6. Okay. An Archangel Metatron just flew out the deck. I'm going to give you some insight on Archangel Metatron. This is actually the angel that God gave the secrets of the universe to. He is the #1 angel. Oh no, this isn't Metatron. I'm so sorry. This is Malachi. His name is spelled Melchizedek. Excuse me for that. But this is the Archangel of spiritual development, study, and law of attraction. Okay? Now this is even more significant because what are we talking about? We're talking about what's coming. The goodness that's coming to you, right? Here's the thing. This flew out the deck. And like I said, whenever a card flies out like that, I pay attention because this isn't just any archangel. This is Archangel Malachi, the Archangel of spiritual development, study, law of attraction. Now, baby, this changes everything because look at the pile. Look at the pile. Sweet treat, little luxuries, romantic love, environment, Jade, and now Malachi. Do y'all see what's happening? This isn't random good luck. This isn't, oops, here's a blessing. No, this is you became the person capable of holding the blessing. Woo! That's the difference. Because some people want abundance, but don't develop themselves. And some people want prosperity, but don't grow. Some people want miracles, but refuse transformation. Now we're talking because this card is saying you studied, you learned, you evolved, you grew, you became more conscious. And honestly, some of that growth hurt. Let's keep it real. Growth sounds cute until you're actually doing it. Because growth means leaving people behind, changing habits, seeing hard truths, breaking old cycles, healing old wounds. Some of y'all earned every bit of this. Now let's turn on the lights because the law of attraction part is what keeps jumping out at me. Not the TikTok version, not the social media version, the real version. The version where your vibration changes, your standards change, your mindset changes, your expectations change, and then suddenly your reality starts changing too. And because what have we been seeing this entire pile? Better experiences, better treatments, better love, better environment, better choices. That's not coincidence. That's alignment. There it is. Because some of y'all have spent years becoming the very thing you've been asking for. And now Spirit is saying, good. Now let's bring it to you. Now, here's what really got me. Because Malachi is connected to spiritual development, and which means that your karma isn't just material, it's energetic. It's energetic, meaning that you're attracting things differently now, and you're choosing differently now. You're seeing differently now. You're vibrating differently now. And baby, that's why the blessings look different, because you are different. Total energetic frequency, POW 2. All right, Clarity family, let's pull this whole thing together. The star equals hope, healing, wish fulfillment, and surviving the storm. Turquoise crystal equals authenticity, truth, and finally finding your voice. Sweet treat equals joy, rewards, pleasure, and life's sweetness returning. Little luxuries equals upgrades, abundance, comfort, and better experiences. And romantic love equals healthy love, reciprocity, and emotional fulfillment. Environment equals better people, better circles, and better atmosphere. Jade equals choosing peace, taking the high road, and passing spiritual tests. Archangel Malachi equals spiritual development, alignment, wisdom, growth, and becoming a vibrational match to your blessings. Now, baby, if I had to summarize your good karma in one sentence, it would be, you didn't just attract these blessings, you grew into them. Because this pile isn't giving lucky, it's giving earned. You became the bigger person. You healed, you learned, you evolved. You kept hope alive. You stayed open to love. You elevated your environment. And now Spirit is responding. Because this pile feels like a complete life upgrade. Not one blessing, multiple blessings. Love, joy, abundance, peace, support, better opportunities, better people, better experiences. And honestly, it's about time. All right, Clarity family, this does close your reading. And baby, Pile 2 wasn't about surviving. Pile 2 was about thriving, because your good karma looks like a life that finally reflects the work you've done on yourself. And before you go, the 3 questions for $33 personal psychic reading is still available. The link is in the description. And if Spirit brought you here today, trust that something beautiful is already moving in your direction. Clarity family, I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading, Pile 3. This is Your Good Karma is Coming Next. Now, baby, the second I saw this pile, I leaned forward, not because it was dramatic, because it was deep. See, Pile 1 was giving you survived, Pile 2 was giving you upgraded, but Pile 3, honey, listen, Pile 3 is giving you evolved. Lord, okay? And let me tell y'all something. Evolution costs, okay? It costs. Now listen, because some of y'all didn't just lose people, you lost versions of yourself. The people watching this pile, you have outgrown things. outgrown relationships, outgrown friendships, outgrown habits, and outgrown entire chapters of your life. My goodness. And the crazy part, some people got mad at you for growing. All right? Let's talk about it, because some people love the version of you that had no boundaries. Some people love the version of you that overgave. Some people love the version of you that always put yourself last. But then one day you started choosing yourself, and suddenly people had opinions. Funny how that works, right? Now let's stir the tea, because this high priestess energy, this is not loud. This is not attention seeking. This is not look at me. This is I know. That's it. Just I know. I see. I understand. I don't need to explain. My goodness, because some of y'all have developed a level of intuition that honestly scares people, because people think they're fooling you. And meanwhile, you're over here like, okay, knowing the whole time. Now let's talk about this clear quartz crystal, because clear quartz amplifies, it magnifies, it strengthens, it brings clarity, it removes fog, it removes confusion, right? Which tells me one of the reasons your good karma is coming is because you finally started seeing things clearly. Not what you wished was true, not what you hoped was true, and not what somebody promised was true. What was actually true. And honey, that changed everything, because some of y'all spent years trying to save people who didn't want saving. Years trying to convince people who to love you correctly. You spent years trying to fix situations that were never yours to fix. And years trying to, look. And then one day Spirit said, take your hands off of it. And you did. That's when the karma shifted. That's when the blessings shifted. That's when the energy shifted. But real quick though, the 3 questions for $33 personal psychic reading is still available. You can ask any 3 questions about love, relationships, family, career, finances, spiritual guidance, your future. And baby, if you think these general readings get deep, the personal readings go way deeper. The link is in the description. All right, pile 3, clear quartz crystal, plus the high priestess. Baby, this pile feels powerful, not flashy, powerful. There's a difference. And what I am already seeing in the total energetic frequency, spiritual elevation, major clarity, divine protection, unexpected blessings, and a level of peace that money can't buy. Now that's a blessing, okay? So you still have 6 more cards to go in this pile. Each card is gonna tell us why you've earned this karma, what lessons you've mastered, what's about to change, what blessing is arriving, and what Spirit wants you to know. The total energetic frequency. And baby, something tells me that this pile is about to get real mystical. Let's get into card 1. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. And you got make a meal. And I like this card. I like it because it's colorful. I like it because it's just a really artistic card. She has a lotus flower on her hand, along with like the moon cycles. And then the card has avocado, really healthy foods on the card. Avocado, tomato, bell pepper, broccoli, spinach, and it looks like a few cubes of cheese, among other things. But I really like the card. But the card says, make a meal. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting hungry, okay? But listen, it's just really beautiful. The colors, the vegetables, the lotus flower, the moon phases, the energy. My goodness. And what takes me back is that most people will pull this card and immediately think, oh, food. Baby, Spirit is talking about way more than food, because this card says make a meal. And immediately what I heard was nourishment. Okay? Hold on now, because some of y'all have spent years feeding everybody else. You spent years feeding everyone else, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, financially. You were the advice giver, the helper, the encourager, the one people called when their life was falling apart. Meanwhile, who was feeding you? There it is. Because this card feels like Spirit saying, it's your turn. Now let's stir the tea, because it's piping hot. Because look at what's actually on the card. Let's look at it again. Avocado, tomatoes, broccoli, greens, lotus flower, moon cycles. This isn't junk food energy. This is nourishment energy, growth energy, healing energy, abundance energy. And remember what pile we're in. High Priestess, clear quartz. This pile is about wisdom, growth, evolution, spiritual maturity. So what I'm picking up is this. Your karma isn't just money. Your karma isn't just success. Your karma is becoming well. Now that's a word. Because for some of y'all have been surviving. This card says no more survival. We're moving into nourishment. Now we're talking. Because there's a difference between existing and thriving. There's a difference between getting by and being fulfilled. There's a difference between eating scraps and sitting down to a feast. Let's keep it real. And Spirit keeps showing me a feast. Not just literally, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. Because some of y'all have been starving for peace, support, understanding, reciprocity. And Spirit is saying, I'm bringing it. Now, here's what really jumped out at me. Here's what really jumped out. The lotus flower. Because a lotus grows through mud. It doesn't start in beautiful conditions. It starts in mess. It starts in darkness. It starts in murky water. Lord, sound familiar? Because some of y'all had to grow through things that should have broken you. Yet, here you are, still standing, still evolving, still becoming. My goodness. And that is why this karma is showing up. Because you didn't let difficult circumstances define you. You grew anyway. Now, what I'm already seeing in the total energetic frequency, this pile feels rich. Not just financially. Rich in peace, rich in wisdom, rich in fulfillment, rich in purpose. And honestly, that's the kind of wealth nobody can take from you. And so far we have the High Priestess equals wisdom, intuition, spiritual growth, and inner knowing. Clear quartz equals clarity, amplification, and seeing the truth. Make a meal equals nourishment, fulfillment, healing, abundance, self-care, and spirit finally feeding the parts of you that have been running on empty. And baby, the total energetic frequency is already giving. You've spent years feeding everyone else. Now the universe is preparing a feast for you. Let's get into card 2. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. Card 2. And you got Tree of Life. The card says, true wisdom and making good choices in life. Wow. Absolutely find this astonishing, okay? Because this card right here, this card is deep. And honestly, it's one of my favorite cards in the entire reading so far. Because, like I said, you got the Tree of Life. The card says true wisdom and making good choices in life. Now listen, because this isn't talking about book smarts. This isn't talking about IQ. This isn't talking about how many degrees somebody got hanging on the wall. Baby, this is life wisdom. The kind of wisdom that only comes from living. The kind of wisdom that comes from making mistakes. It's the kind of wisdom that comes from getting your heart broken. The kind of wisdom that comes from trusting the wrong people and surviving it. Lord, because let's be honest, some of y'all earned every leaf on this tree. Some of y'all paid tuition at the University of Hard Knocks and graduated with honors. Now we talking, because Spirit keeps showing me somebody who learned lessons the hard way. Mercy, because some of y'all didn't have a roadmap. You didn't have people teaching you. You didn't have people guiding you. You had to figure it out. One lesson at a time, one mistake at a time, one heartbreak at a time. And yet, look at you now. Now let's stir the tea, because I think one of the biggest reasons your good karma is coming is because you finally started making choices that honor you. There, I said it. Because some of y'all is like used to choose everybody else's needs, everybody else's wants, everybody else's happiness. And your own happiness somewhere at the bottom of the list. But this Tree of Life says that version of you is over, because wisdom changes your standards. Wisdom changes your boundaries. Wisdom changes your decisions. And baby, that's exactly what I'm seeing. I see somebody who stopped touching the hot stove after getting burned enough times. The card is talking, okay? The cards are talking, because this tree didn't grow overnight. No, this tree grew season after season, year after year. Year after year, and storm after storm. And that's what Spirit keeps showing me. You didn't become wise because life was easy. You became wise because life taught you. Now, here's what I love, because look at the reading. Make a meal. Tree of Life. Do y'all see this? Both cards are talking about nourishment, growth, development, thriving, Spirit isn't showing me somebody who's barely surviving anymore. And Spirit is showing me somebody stepping into their power. And honestly, the biggest blessing may be this: you trust yourself now. Amen. That's huge, because some of y'all used to second guess everything, used to doubt yourself, used to ignore your intuition, used to overlook red flags. Not anymore. Not when something feels off. When something feels off, you know it. Now when something is right, you know it. Now when Spirit whispers, you listen. And that is why this karma is coming, because wisdom creates better choices. Better choices create better outcomes, and better outcomes create better lives. And so far we have the High Priestess equals intuition, wisdom, and spiritual maturity. And clear quartz equals clarity, truth, and amplified awareness. And make a meal equals nourishment, fulfillment, healing, and abundance. Tree of life equals true wisdom, good decisions, spiritual growth, stronger boundaries, and trusting yourself more than ever before. And baby, the total energetic frequency is already giving. Your blessing is connected to the wisdom you earned the hard way. Let's get into card 3. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. You got connection. And the card says, the frequency of connection supports our ability to find alignment and resonance with others, things, and ideas. All right. Now, I absolutely love this card coming out, and I'll tell you why. Because this card right here, this card just explained why your good karma is showing up. It explains why. You got connection. I just want to read the card one more time, a little slower for you. The card says, the frequency of connection supports our ability to find alignment and resonance with others, things, and ideas. You see that? Now hold on, because most people hear connection and immediately think relationship, soulmate, love. Baby, Spirit is talking about something much bigger, because connection isn't just people. Connection is alignment. Do you see it? Connection is being in the right place at the right time. Connection is meeting the right people. Connection is finding the right opportunities. Connection is discovering the right path. And honestly, I think that's been one of your biggest lessons, because some of y'all spent years trying to force things that weren't aligned. Trying to force friendships, trying to force relationships, trying to force opportunities, trying to force situations that Spirit never intended to stay. Good grief, okay? Now we're talking, because the High Priestess keeps showing up in the background of this reading. And the High Priestess doesn't force, she knows. That's the difference, because wisdom eventually teaches you. It teaches you that what's for you doesn't require chasing. What's aligned doesn't require convincing. What's meant for you doesn't require begging. Now let's shine the light here, because I think some of y'all learned a painful lesson. Not everybody is supposed to go with you. There, I said it. Some people were seasons. Some people were lessons. Some people were stepping stones. And some people were chapters. And baby, some of y'all held on to certain people way longer than Spirit intended. Lord, But look where you're at now. Tree of life, wisdom. Make a meal, nourishment. High priestess, discernment. You don't connect the same way anymore. You don't hand your energy out the same way anymore. And you don't trust everybody the same way anymore. And that is exactly why your karma is changing, because now you're attracting from wisdom, not wounds. That's a whole message right there, because wounded people attract lessons. Healed people attract alignment. All right, now we're getting it, right? Because what I see coming towards you isn't chaotic. It's aligned. The right conversations, the right opportunities, the right friendships, the right support, the right connections. And let's keep it real. I feel some of y'all are about to meet people who feel familiar. Not because you've met them before, but because their energy matches yours. Okay? It's no forcing, no chasing, no convincing, just alignment. Now that is luxury, okay? Because some of y'all have spent years swimming upstream, and Spirit is saying that you don't have to do that anymore. So far we have the High Priestess equals intuition, discernment, and spiritual maturity. Clear quartz crystal equals clarity, truth, and amplified awareness. Make a meal equals nourishment, fulfillment, healing, and abundance. Tree of life equals wisdom, growth, and making better choices. Connection equals alignment, meaningful relationships, supportive opportunities, and attracting what actually resonates with your soul. And baby, the total energetic frequency is getting strong. Not flashy, not loud, strong. Because this pile is starting to feel like the right people, the right opportunities, and the right blessings are finally finding you. Let's get into card 4. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy? As it does relate. And let's see what's coming through. And you got moderation. Now, baby, listen, this card right here, this card is not sexy. It's not flashy. It's not dramatic. But let me tell you something. This card changes lives because you got moderation. Now, I know some of y'all looked at this card and said, okay, what's so exciting about moderation? Baby, everything. Because moderation is balance. Moderation is wisdom. Moderation is self-control. Moderation is emotional maturity. My goodness, okay? And do you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing somebody who's used to live in extremes. All in or all out. Love too hard, give too much, trust too quickly, stay too long, overthink too much, overhelp too much, overextend too much. Good grief. The cards are reading people today, okay? Now let's take a look at it. Because one of the biggest reasons your karma is improving is because you've learned balance. There, I said it. Because wisdom without moderation becomes arrogance. Love without moderation becomes self-sacrifice. Giving without moderation becomes depletion. And some of y'all learned that lesson the hard way. Some of y'all were out here pouring from an empty cup, trying to save everybody, trying to fix everybody, trying to carry everybody. Meanwhile, you were exhausted, but not anymore. Now you're learning boundaries. Now you're learning balance. Now you're learning discernment. Now you're learning when to say no. And baby, that little word right there changed your life. Because the high priestess doesn't react emotionally to everything. She observes, she evaluates, she decides. And that's exactly what I'm seeing. You're no longer giving your energy to every situation. You're no longer fighting every battle. You're no longer trying to rescue people determined to stay stuck. Okay? Now that is growth, because moderation says, I can care without carrying. Woo. Mercy, because somebody needed that. I can love without losing myself. I can help without draining myself. I can support without sacrificing myself. And honestly, I think that's exactly why these blessings are showing up, because Spirit finally trusts you to keep them. Lord, now that's a message, because some blessings require balance. Some blessings require wisdom. Some blessings require moderation. And now you're ready. So far we have the high priestess equals intuition, wisdom, and spiritual maturity. Clear quartz equals clarity, truth, and discernment. Make a meal equals nourishment, healing, and fulfillment. Tree of life equals wisdom earned through experience. Connection equals alignment, resonance, and attracting what's truly meant for you. Moderation equals balance, boundaries, emotional maturity, and finally learning how to protect your energy. And honey, the total energetic frequency is getting powerful AF, because this pile is no longer giving, I hope things get better. It's giving, I've become the person capable of handling better. Let's get into card 5. What is the energy as it does relate? Card 5. Oh, I had the first one. Let's see. All right. Card 5. You got the clear quartz. Okay. Look. And you were drawn to the clear quartz. So the clear quartz crystal card comes out and it says, what? Get crystal clear. This is a what? Clarity family. What do we consider this? A synchronicity. But not only that, Spirit is doing what? Let's find out. Thank you, Spirit. I'm going to tell you what I'm picking up, what's coming through. Look, here's the tea. When I tell you that Spirit is showing off right now, I mean it. Spirit is showing off. Because what crystal were you drawn to when you picked this pile? Clear quartz, right? And now out of all the cards that could have come out, the card that comes flying out is clear quartz crystal. Lord, clarity family. Like I said, what do we call this? Synchronicity, not coincidence, not random, not accidental. Synchronicity, period. Because Spirit is doing something right now. Spirit is confirming the message. Here it is. Because when the same energy starts repeating itself over and over again, Spirit is saying, pay attention, look closer. This message is for you. Now, let's talk about what the clear quartz actually represents. Clarity, truth, amplification, awareness, vision. Goodness gracious, okay? Because this whole reading has been building towards one thing, clarity. Look at the cards. Look at the cards. High Priestess, Tree of Life. Connection, moderation, clear quartz. Do you see it? Spirit is practically screaming. You see it now? Lord, because some of y'all spent years confused about people, confused about relationships, confused about situations, confused about your path. But baby, the fog is lifting. There it is, because what I keep hearing is what used to confuse you no longer confuses you. What used to tempt you no longer tempts you. What used to distract you no longer distracts you. Now we talking, because clarity is one of the greatest blessings a person can receive. Not money, not fame, not success. Clarity. Because when you have clarity, you stop wasting time. You stop wasting time when you have clarity. You stop chasing dead ends. When you have clarity, you stop ignoring red flags. When you have clarity, you start trusting yourself. And honestly, that's exactly what I'm seeing. I'm seeing somebody who is no longer operating from wishful thinking. You're operating from wisdom. That's why the Tree of Life came out. That's why moderation came out. That's why the High Priestess was here and you were drawn to it, because everything keeps circling back to the same thing. You grew. And because you grew, your vision changed. Because your vision changed, your decisions changed. Because your decisions changed, your life changed. Now, that's karma. Not just getting a blessing, because the person who can recognize the blessing when it arrives, right? My goodness, because listen, honey, the total energetic frequency is getting ridiculously powerful now, because Spirit keeps showing me somebody standing at the top of a mountain, looking back and saying, now I understand. Lord, the lessons make sense. The delay makes sense. The ending makes sense. The growth makes sense. Everything starts making sense. And so far we have High Priestess equals intuition, wisdom, and spiritual maturity. Clear quartz equals clarity, awareness, and truth. Make a meal equals nourishment, healing, and fulfillment. Tree of Life equals wisdom earned through life experiences. Connection equals alignment and attracting what's meant for you. Moderation equals balance, boundaries, and emotional mastery. Clear quartz crystal equals synchronicity, confirmation, amplified intuition, and spirit validating everything you've been learning. And baby, the total energetic frequency is screaming. The blessing isn't just arriving, you're finally able to see it. Let's get into card 6. What is the energy as it does relate? Now let's see what's coming through. And you got Mother Mary. The card says purity of heart, conception, faith. Mother Mary. Wow. All right. So now, baby, when I tell you Spirit just brought this reading home, okay? Let's read it again. Mother Mary, the card says purity of heart, conception, and faith. Look, because this card is beautiful, not just beautiful, powerful. And truthfully, I couldn't think of a more perfect card to close this pile. Because what has this entire reading been about? Wisdom, growth, alignment, balance, clarity. And now Spirit says purity of heart. Now let's talk about it, because purity of heart doesn't mean perfection. Let's get that straight. Some of y'all watching this pile have made mistakes. Some of y'all have gotten angry. Some of y'all have said things you shouldn't have said. Some of y'all have chosen the wrong people, right? And the wrong situations, the wrong paths. Welcome to being human. But Spirit isn't talking about perfection. Spirit is talking about your intentions. And what keeps coming through is you genuinely wanted good things for people, even people who didn't deserve it. Some of y'all prayed for people who hurt you. Some of y'all forgave people who never apologized. And some of y'all wished people well after they showed you exactly who they were. Now that takes a different level of spiritual maturity. Okay? Now let's stir the tea, because the word that keeps jumping out at me is conception. And no, I'm not talking about pregnancy. Not necessarily. I'm talking about creation, birth, manifestation, something new. Because conception means something is forming, something is developing, something is being created. And baby, I think that's exactly what your karma is. Something new, a new chapter, a new opportunity, a new beginning, a new version of yourself. Because look at the entire pile. Nothing here talks about staying the same. Everything talks about growth. Everything talks about elevation. Everything talks about becoming. Now let's talk about faith, because that word is on this card too, right? Faith. And honestly, some of y'all have had faith when there was absolutely no evidence, no proof, no guarantee, no certainty, no roadmap, and yet you kept believing. Not perfectly, not every day, not without doubt, but you kept going. And Spirit is saying, I saw that. I saw every bit of it. And that's why this blessing feels so earned, because this pile didn't get here overnight. This pile evolved here. Total energetic frequency, pile 3. All right, Clarity family, let's put this whole thing together. The High Priestess equals intuition, wisdom, and spiritual growth. Clear quartz equals clarity, truth, and higher awareness. Make a meal equals nourishment, fulfillment, and finally feeding yourself. Tree of Life equals wisdom earned through experience. Connection equals alignment and attracting what's meant for you. Moderation equals balance, boundaries, and emotional mastery. And clear quartz equals synchronicity, confirmation, and spirit validating your path. Mother Mary equals purity of heart, faith, compassion, spiritual protection, and the birth of a beautiful new chapter. Now, baby, if I had to summarize your good karma in one sentence, it would be, your blessing isn't coming because you were perfect. It's coming because you kept your heart open while you grew wise. That's the message, because pile 3 feels different than the other piles. Pile 1 was about rewards. Pile 2 was about upgrades. Pile 3 is about spiritual evolution. You became wiser, more discerning, more balanced, more aligned, more intuitive. And because of that, your entire reality is changing. All right, Clarity family, this does close your reading. And baby, this power wasn't about getting what you want. This power was about becoming who you were meant to be, because your good karma looks like peace, clarity, alignment, wisdom, protection, purpose, faith, rewarded. Before you go, the 3 questions for $33 personal reading is still available. And if you like insight into your specific situation, your specific future, and your specific path, the link is in the description. Until next time, Clarity family, trust your intuition, trust your growth, and remember, the purest hearts often receive the most beautiful blessings. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next reading.